Hello everyone, and now for my fourth and final story for Rosh Hashanah. This one is about King Solomon and how he met a very good friend of his, the honeybee. One night King Solomon lay asleep in his bed and he was snoring loudly. And a bee came in through the window, buzzing, looking for flowers. And it flitted around the room and eventually it landed right on Solomon's nose. Right then, as the bee was there, and the bee jumped. It was scared. So what did it do? It stung King Solomon and he woke up. What was that? What was that? Who has stung the king? And the bee was there. And you might remember that King Solomon could talk to animals. So the bee said, I'm sorry, King Solomon. You scared me with your snoring. Well, King Solomon at first was very frustrated, but the bee had an idea. I'm sorry, King Solomon. I know this must be very upsetting, but I'm willing to help you if you will let me live. Again, I'm sorry. So like anyone should do, since the bee said that he was sorry, King Solomon let them go, and the bee knew that he would have to do something to thank King Solomon for his kindness. Well, as it happened, King Solomon was trying to win the love of the Queen of Ethiopia, the Queen of Sheba, and he couldn't quite figure out how to do it. Plus, she was very clever. The story says that she tried to trick King Solomon. She sent him a note saying, I will show you 2 flowers. If you pick the flower that is fake, then you'll never see me again. But if you pick the flower that is real, then you will have me for your queen. And as King Solomon stood there having to decide between the 2 flowers, he thought of something. And he told one of his servants, please, open the window. And when he did, he waited. And in through the window came the bee, flying around, looking for, you guessed it, for flowers. But the bee wouldn't land on a fake flower. It remembered this is Solomon's palace and it owed him a kindness. So the bee landed on the real flower. King Solomon was overjoyed and everyone in the kingdom was happy as well. And then the bee and King Solomon were talking. And they decided that since the bee and Solomon had both helped each other, that the bee would live in the palace gardens and tend to the flowers there. After a while, of course, more bees came, and more, and they established a hive. And from that hive, they got honey. And that is why every year on Rosh Hashanah, we eat our apples, just like King Solomon did from his orchard, and our honey, the honey that was made by his friend, the bee. I'm wishing you all a good and sweet year. Thank you.